If you are a scaling business looking past your domestic borders, you have definitely encountered the alphabet soup of global hiring. EOR and PEO.
Right.
Setting up a legal entity in another country is just a nightmare of red tape, lawyers, and months of waiting. So today, we're cutting through all that noise. We're going to give you the ultimate shortcut.
Our mission is pretty straightforward, and honestly, it's critical for your growth. We're going to unpack the fundamental legal and functional differences between the employer of record, the EOR, and the professional employer organization, or PEO. Then we're going to use two fascinating and complex markets, Vietnam and Bangladesh, to show you exactly what kind of local compliance landmines these services help you avoid.
That really is the core problem we're solving, isn't it? Traditional international expansion just means this huge long-term commitment, expensive lawyers, months spent just incorporating a subsidiary.
Exactly. And EOR and PEO arrangements bypass that whole paralyzing process. They offer a faster, more effective route, especially when you're just testing a new market or hiring a single, specialized remote worker.
Okay, let's unpack this. I think we should start where most domestic companies start. The PEO, or Professional Employer Organization.
Makes sense.
The foundational concept here is something called co-employment. For someone who isn't deep in HR compliance, what does that co-employment tag actually mean?
Co-employment is basically a shared relationship. It means that both the client company, so you and the PEO, are legally considered employers of that worker.
So you're sharing the responsibility.
You are. You divide it. The PEO steps in to handle the big administrative burdens, so think payroll processing, compliance reporting, managing general HR docs, and sometimes administering benefits.
Okay, so the PEO is like the administrative backbone. But I, as the client company, I still dictate the actual work, the strategy, the job functions. I still control the talent.
Precisely. You're in charge of the day-to-day. But, and this is the critical footnote for PEOs, this model generally requires you, the client, to already have some form of legal presence, an entity established in that country. So PEOs are often used when you're scaling inside a country where you already operate or you've already done the hard work of incorporating abroad.
Okay, wait a minute. So if I already have an entity, which means I've already done the hard part, the legal setup.
Why wouldn't I just hire my own in-house HR or accounting team? Why bother with a PEO?
That's a fantastic question. You use a PEO when the risk you want to mitigate is administrative and tactical, not that big strategic entity risk.
It's about efficiency then.
It's about cost efficiency and consistency. They can usually provide better vetted benefits packages and superior centralized payroll processing than a small, brand new foreign office could manage on its own. It's an outsourced admin solution.
Got it. Okay. Now let's talk about the real game changer for pure global scale. The EOR, the employer of record. What's fascinating here is how this model just completely solves that entity problem. It really does. The EOR model is fundamentally different because it eliminates the need for your local entity entirely. The EOR becomes the sole legal employer of the worker.
Sole employer, so no co-employment.
No co-employment. The contract is between the worker and the EOR, and then there's a separate service agreement between the EOR and you.
That elimination of the entity requirement, that's the real aha moment for anyone expanding globally. If the EOR is the sole legal employer, they absorb all the employment liability, right?
Completely. They become your compliance shield. And this means the EOR takes on all the legal and financial liabilities. We're talking compliance with local labor law, drafting the right contracts, tax withholding, Social Security, everything.
Wow.
That transfer of liability is exactly why EOR is favored for lightning-fast international expansion.
But I have to ask, if the EOR is the legal employer, do I, as the client, lose the ability to really manage the employee? Or build a company culture? Is it just a financial thing?
That's a key concern. And it's the fine line that EORs walk. Functionally, you retain full control over the employee's day-to-day work, their output, their objectives, their professional development. The EOR just handles the back-office compliance wrapper.
So I direct the work.
You direct the work. The EOR ensures the relationship is legal. You lose nothing in operational control, but you gain this massive protection against legal missteps.
Let's focus on the biggest benefit of the EOR model for a second. Speed. Why are these services so necessary in today's hyper-competitive hiring world?
It all comes down to speed to market and risk offloading. EOR platforms often boast they can onboard a team member and have them fully compliant and ready to start in a new market in just a matter of days.
I've heard as fast as 48 hours.
It can be. Now, compare that to the 6 to 9 months and thousands of dollars you'd spend to formally incorporate a foreign subsidiary. Time is money, and the EOR saves you a ton of both.
And the compliance relief is equally huge. The ER manages all these complex domestic labor rules, payroll, benefits,
Yeah.
which minimizes your exposure to fines and disputes.
Right.
Let's make this tangible.